we're gonna take questions. So if y'all not gonna ask questions about men in the matriarchy, y'all gonna have to catch another time, and I'm gonna exit you out because I want to get this hour in of answering questions more to roles of men in the matriarchy to get more detailed with the information than I was in the last video. So I'm almost to my limit of people I can invite, and then I'm gonna take the first caller. Right. So elevated by C asks, should the matriarch be set up according to craft? The matriarch is set up. Okay, first, matriarchs are established among women. The men don't pick the matriarchs pick each other. And the one who get the most matriarchal support from other matriarchs become the lead matriarch. And her supporters also got supporters. So it's a trickle down. And this what we call a pyramid model for government that overrides this jurisdiction, because the first right to the earth is to the women. And this is why the 5% nation called the women earths. This they shit. The mitochondrial is in the soil. And women control mitochondrial by reaching the love frequency and the angel frequency, which raises the male's mitochondrial in a presence. So the more good women that's around a male, the better of a male he'll be as a man. When that's how he becomes his divine masculine self, by being approved by men and women. Most loved, most respected is the rule. The one that's the most loved and the most respected is the one that the people that's loving and respecting him is pushing for to be their guy in this battle. So I'm gonna take the first caller in right here. The magic touch. That's to me, or a motherfucking acupressure session. The magic touch. Hey, look who I got here. You always make me smile when I see you.
You always make me smile when I see you. Do you hear me?
That's what my boy Rashad called reflections.
Oh. I'm glad I caught you because, and I'm not going to hold you, I just wanted to, first of all, thank you so much. You are really heaven sent, for real. And second of all, how are we dealing as women and raising the matriarchy? How are we supposed to deal with these people that even look like us but aren't us, and moving them out? Right.
Y'all only have to weed out the women. Y'all gonna know them. All of them riding crotch bitches, no good. Y'all know them. They can't get along with no woman, no way.
They can't.
So y'all deal with the women. They can't get along with women.
So what if there's no men around, though, to deal with someone, especially in a workplace situation that affects kids? And that's the only reason I even care, is because, and not to even throw this on to people who even watching, because it's a little bit of a trigger, but there was a young woman. We work with people who are 16 to 25-year-old high school dropouts. So this person was within that age range on the younger side. And longest of long story short, she was pregnant and didn't want to say anything because her uncle had been molesting her, and she wasn't sure whose baby it was, her boyfriend's or hers. And she just didn't want to tell the boyfriend that she was pregnant, point blank period, but she wanted the baby, right? So around the person who's coordinating this, the person who's in charge, is just like, oh, well, we can't really do anything. And I'm just like, what you mean we can't do anything? And they're like, well, she don't want to press charges. I'm like, oh, okay, that's fine. She don't want to press charges, but y'all all know. So y'all like this just like,
what city you in?
You know, I'm in Jersey, in Newark.
It's somebody there. I'll talk to you offline.
Okay.
It's somebody there that they're gonna send some sisters to talk to her to get her sister protection, and then they're gonna deal with the rest of the matter how they deal with it.
Okay.
But the first thing they want to do is secure her. They want to get her out of this situation where you got some grown ass man molesting her. It's somebody in Newark. There's some goons in Newark, and if they find out, they're gonna. It won't be pretty for them.
All right.
There's some goons, and they on a side of Shakur watch when this shit flip, and she's merciless to molesters. So
for sure. Yeah.
If she get an order, half of Newark gonna be at that motherfucker door. I just got to tell you what's the 100. If she get a word, Asada Shakur get a word, half of Newark, half of motherfucking Orange, New Jersey, motherfucking from New York, Maryland, they gonna be there. Boston, Philly, they coming. Just to deal with one child, they will come from everywhere when she get an order. We trying to get the big fish out the pond first. Then we gonna deal with the little fish at home. Because that secret squirrel shit is what got these kids fucked up right now.
In the first place, exactly.
See, it had got to a point where it was so few good men that hadn't been murdered yet or lynched that the women cherished them so much that it allowed the children to be abused because the few good men they had, they didn't want him to correct the bad man because the slave catcher gonna come. Right? And when the slave catcher come, they're going to put him on the auction block and sell him into slavery. Slavery today is called prison. They don't want the good man correcting the bad man because the good man going to be the one doing time. So the women start keeping this shit a secret to try to protect the good man. Fuck that shit. That's what we here for. I go do my goddamn time. I go sit back with my feet up and read a couple more 1,000 books.
Niggas ain't like that. That's why.
That's why I ain't no nigga.
No, I'm just saying, you know, I know that. Said that's why I ain't no nigga. No, that shit pisses me off though, for real. But yeah. Yeah,
so the situation has to be handled in a particular way. So I have to tell you certain stuff offline. Not because I'm keeping it a secret. It's because the people who you have to contact, they can't be exposed right now, and they really deaf on them on women beaters and child molesters. They get treated like they would in old school penitentiary, especially when it's known to be true, because they've been using a lot of false allegations also to remove the good men and let the bad man stay. So people start accusing the good man of doing what the bad man doing, and then the good man doing time for nothing he didn't do nothing. He's sitting up in jail rotten, while the rotten motherfuckers is sitting out here flourishing and making more rotten fruit. Because mama said one bad fruit spoiled a whole bunch.
I think that you're absolutely right. When you say the men got to handle it, it's just, you know, that part where it is something to consider, especially because the police being involved take it to a different level for everybody. But
you know, my philosophy is fuck the police.
Fuck the police, exactly.
I deal with that nigga myself before I call the police on him. I'm not calling the police on the motherfucker. That's why I be like, fuck all that old, because I was finna get into the shenanigans on some arguing across the internet. I thought about that shit. All them niggas gonna do is call the police.
All I think it's gonna do is call the police.
That's what they inadvertently trying to dry snitching or as it is trying to call the police, but they trying to get a police evidence the police already got, and they took that and like, nigga, we already know that shit.
Next,
we just not figured that out. But this so I was thinking about it. I was like, shit. Cause you know I'm the type of motherfucker, I pull up at a motherfucker spot. I don't got no problem with it. I don't give a fuck if I had to walk from here, from Detroit, Michigan to Phoenix, Arizona to pull up on a motherfucker And it might take me a year to walk that distance. But I tell you what, when I get there, I'm gonna pull the fuck up. And I'm not coming to argue. I could have did that shit over the internet.
On the phone, right.
Right. So why would I do all that tongue wrestling if we ain't gonna fight? And if we gonna fight, why am I gonna do all that tongue wrestling? I might as well just go and fight. Right? Because all that tongue wrestling gonna lead to a fight.
Yeah.
Right.
At the end of the day.
And then if the tongue wrestling gonna lead to a fight, then I might as well not tongue wrestle. Just cut out the middleman. Cut out the middleman.
So I got one more question. So for men or women who have love interests, relationships, I know we're not technically focusing on thinking with our P's, but we're talking past that. We're talking about growth and development in all types of relationships, even with people you have, you know, children with and stuff like that, and trying to just elevate, even if it's just, you know, a co-parenting type of thing. That, and women going through that as we raise the matriarchy. What is that looking like?
Okay. You kind of like paused for a minute and I kind of lost track of the question.
Summed it up, because men and women who are not together, but like still have to coexist with each other, not thinking with their P's.
Yeah. So most of them in the hostile relationships, in the matriarchy, when the two parents can't talk civilly to each other about the child and make competent civil decisions about the child, then both of the mothers have to come up with the solution between the family elders on both sides of the family. No side left out. But the individuals that can't get their act together, they ain't got no say. They too busy doing, 3D shit. Thinking with their D's and their P's. Right? So as long as they doing that, but if, let's say one of them is trying to do the right thing and they fighting the other one, and the other one is just trying to be in control. When you present the matter to the elders on both sides, they come up with a solution that's in the interest of the child. They don't give a fuck about their parent. Because sometimes the solution requires the grandparents to take the child from both parents. And both grandparents is going to agree because it's in the best interest of the child. And that's how come Big Mama house always got so many kids. And so many aunties always work there.
It was some women who, it was a young girl at my mom's job who gave her baby away to diapers, to Child Protective Services, but nobody knew. The dad didn't know and the grandmother didn't know, and it was because she didn't want to. It should just be crazy. And the shit that people deal with, like on a, just even hearing these stories, I don't, like I said, I don't be mean to put this on people, but what you just said is like true. But
so in the case where the because it's gonna be, it's a lot of cases right now, like you said, where the men don't even know he got a child. Right? So in cases like that, her family still got to hold her accountable. Right? And take her ass on Maury, take all 725 of them niggas she fucked up till you find that baby daddy. And sometimes you gonna find the baby daddy out of that 725 niggas she was fucking because he's somebody closely related to her that she don't want to tell on. Or she already suspected, she might not know it, like the situation you mentioned earlier, she don't know if it's her boyfriends or uncles. That shouldn't even be a motherfucking question in her mind. Because that question exists, that means something is out of order. Right? So she'd probably take 50 innocent motherfuckers on Maury before she took her uncle. And everybody come back, he is not the father. He is not the, like, goddamn. And then we in our ignorance, not knowing what's going on, don't know why she can't figure out who her baby daddy is. Shit, it might be her goddamn daddy's baby. You never know.
Let's come in. Maybe some guys or something. I don't know. But we'll talk.
Yeah. A question. It's a good question popped up. It say, how do one seek and commit to a tribe if they have no living close relatives or kinfolks to reach out to? So those are called orphans on the land. And they pick the tribe that picked them is the tribe they gonna pick. You will know them because those are the people you with every day, spending your time with, giving your love energy to, right? So one of the things we teach the children under a matriarchy is be careful who you give your love energy to, because if you give it to the wrong person, it'll drain you, because they only have bad intentions for you, but they held secret places in their dark hearts. But the ones that, when you are orphan, the ones who are that you draw to, you natural affinity to, the earth, humans pack animals. The frequency of the earth is going to move us to the pack that is ready to receive us as an orphan. So this is how you end up in South Central with an all-black Crips gang, and here you got a white boy in there. Where the fuck he come from? He got his one drop of blood, and nature sent him there. She sent him there to prove his one drop of blood qualification, because if the brothers in his neighborhood accept him, he ain't going to betray that trust. That's that drop of blood that makes him not betray that trust. He don't give a fuck how many racists tell him he should be racist. It don't fit in his paradigm if he got that one drop of blood, because them is his brothers. He don't see their color. He only see his tribal colors. That's it. And this is how you know, and you gravitate towards your tribe, even when you don't know where your tribe at. You look around, and the people that give you love freely just because they feel like it, right? And they love you just because it's free. I can love you for free. Come on over here and get some of this love. Come to the barbecue. We love to see you there. You get to the barbecue, they treat you like you've been a special member of the family the whole time.
Like, hey, cousin.
Right? And you ain't never seen these people a day in your life. And they treating you like gold. Why they treating me so good? This your tribe, motherfucker. They glad to see you brought your ass back home. At least that's what they used to tell me when I get there. I know you folks, but you rock with the Stones, man. Come on, folks. You can rock with the Stones today.
So video was when you said you be flipping just to throw the algorithm off. I was like, he absolutely did this. Sometimes you really can't keep up. Oh, but when you do, hey, this shit's crazy. This shit's crazy.
Look, the AI can't keep up. But them gangbangers and them thug niggas be matching every motherfucking flip. The same shit I be doing with the words is what they be doing with their hands. The same shit. I'm just using words. They just throwing up their set. I'm using the pattern, the speech pattern that's signatured after the subconscious mind organizing of information, so that I can connect as many dots as possible in your subconscious mind in order to polish the mirror that's called the black dot. Once that mirror is polished, you see clearly you don't need me no more. And I'm just trying to make it as many motherfuckers not need me as possible.
Fine. I hear you. I hear you. Now that's dope. And that's how I got into the whole human design, which kind of took me because I heard about it years ago, but then. Yeah,
that's the great arcana I was talking about in the last video.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, human design, the great arcana, the great work. The work of building Solomon's temple, the temple of man.
That's exactly what it is.
Right. And the temple of man houses Solomon, the soul of man.
Yeah, right.
Right. And Solomon has to go into the shrine in order to find out who is the Black Madonna so he can get his blessing from Big Mama.
So then
the Black Madonna is the next heir to be Grand Matriarch. See, they don't tell you the structure that it is the papal, the Roman Catholic Church is patterned off the civil priestesses.
Mm-hmm.
The only one supposed to wear black is the one who sits on the Queen of Heaven and Earth seat, mm-hmm. that they keep suspended in the air, because if a man sit in it, they automatically lose patriarchal rights all over the earth instantly. So before they make that mistake of letting the janitor come through mopping and sit his ass in it, they elevated that bitch 30 feet in the sky in the church. And you can look that shit up to see it yourself if you don't believe me. And the Pope chair sit under the motherfucker. And then they told us we was one nation under God. They never told us she wasn't in her seat right now. That's the great work. And that shit works great when it's in its proper motherfucking order. Put the power where the power goes. Shit run the way it's supposed to run. That's the simplest explanation of matriarchy.
It is.
Put the power where it's supposed to go, and it'll run the way it's supposed to run according to the laws of nature. We elephants in human form. Look at the elephant. Watch how they do. You don't even see a bull elephant until distress come, and you don't even hear Big Mama, the Queen Matriarch, call his ass until you see that motherfucker busting out of nowhere. Where did this big burly motherfucker come from?
I'm charging from. You're right, actually.
Yeah, because she's sending him messages in the ground. He don't walk with the women and the children. Him and the mother and them young bull males are out on the periphery. They patrolling the outskirts of where the women is. And as soon as the matriarch pound on that motherfucking ground and get that low grunt and they feel that rumble in the earth, it ain't enough lions in the motherfucking jungle to stop the motherfucking bull elephants from seeing where Big Mama won't. And Angel Bay a bull elephant. But he is Chicago bull. A big ass moose. He's a bison that won't be moved. And he in the rut. That means he ready to go. And Boy Blue, the crooked man, that nigga ready to walk. That's Big Tookie, the king crab. He don't fit in no fucking bucket, so he can't be part of no crab in the bucket shit. He don't even fit in the bucket. So the king crab is the crab that can walk over the bucket and get all the crabs out if you give him a chance. They thought he was dead because they packed him on ice. But now man on ice is a soul on fire. They done fucked up. That's going to be the shocker. Because they told us he was dead. Lying motherfuckers.
They told us he was dead. Oh my God. They really did. They televised it. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Made articles about it and all kind of shit.
All kind of shit. Oh my God.
But I already knew since the 60s they wasn't going to be able to kill him because Eldridge Cleaver told me. When he wrote that hard-ass book called Soul on Ice. And then he wrote that bullshit called Soul on Fire. Then he flipped that shit. And then it came through a Wes Craven shocker off of a motherfucking Eazy-E Ice Cube beef. Right? So there was a Lethal Injection straight out of Compton off of a West Side Connection, making niggas bow down when they come to our town. When they westward bound, fool. I ain't a hater like you. Bow down to a player that's greater than you at this game we playing called the knockaround game. where we be knocking motherfuckers around, but only the gorillas stand up because the rest of them niggas getting knocked down. They done fucked around and let the gorillas come through the gate. And that's how the GDs got in the dope, off Gorilla Ride. That's GD Ride. They didn't even see it coming because they was watching the flash when I motherfucking telepathically connected with their ass. So now you got motherfucking G's in all the streets that's starting to see who we really be. And what did DMX say? They don't even know who we be. They don't know who we be. But we know who we be.
We know who we be.
Right?
Oh my God.
We know who we be. Real recognize real, and a lot of ours are starting to look real familiar now.
All right. Cool. I can take that. I appreciate you, as always.
All the time. I'm gonna see if I can get some questions on the men in the matriarchy.
All right. Take it easy.
Okay, sweetie.
Bye.
All right.
But you gotta X me out.
I got you.
All right. Up, brother.
How you doing, sweetie?
I'm good. How you been?
I'm good. That big old magnetic smile you got brighten up the whole goddamn day for a motherfucker.
Oh, what's up, family?
What's on your mind today? What you want to top it up on?
Everything. I'm getting men arguing with me like women. I am getting it from all fronts. I'm getting messages from mama. I love him. That lightning in the sky is changing my life.
Mm-hmm. Crooked man walking.
Yes.
Look, them dudes that you say be arguing with you like a woman,
Mm-hmm.
you just see the bitch in them. Don't waste your time.
He's like, I'm going to call my sisters. I'm like, no, you call your sisters when I have a problem with you. Because I can't talk to you how I can talk to them. And then let the people who are close to you relay it to you. You got a problem with me, so let me call a man. Since you don't respect me enough to talk to me like a woman, I'm going to call a man and you talk to him like that. I bet you won't. He got an attitude. He stormed off. It was crazy. But I see what you said about all skin
Did he
folks.
snap his fingers? Did he snap his fingers in the zigzag motion?
He was doing this. He was doing this. No. But I'm like, are you clapping at me? I'm like, yeah, no. What you got to do is stop talking to me like you crazy, boy. I was like, I'm going to call a guy and you can talk to him. He's like, no, I'm going to call my sisters. I'm like, okay, you go and do that. All skin folks, not kinfolk, and they showing their colors. If you listen close, even the women that aren't on your side, they show colors immediately. It's not a compliment to tell anybody that, oh, I'm jealous of that. That's not a compliment. You speak.
Soon as I hear the word jealous, it's a red flag to me. Dirty motherfuckers is on their way.
Pretty much. That's my question. The Pope in China, why is he in jail? Did you hear that? The Pope? Yeah, one of the popes, one of the priests, like one of their grand priests is in jail.
Probably for being a fag. Probably touching on little boys. I don't know. I didn't see nothing about it. But 9 out of 10, if they true to form, he probably was touching on one of them little Japanese boys over there, and to keep the Yakuza and the samurai from beheading his motherfucking ass, they decided to lock his punk ass up, dress wearing son of a bitch.
I cannot. Okay, next question is, I am going about my tribe. Now, am I doing this because I'm trying to elect a leader? I don't feel like I have learned my craft enough to lead. So how many people should be in my matriarch to begin with? I don't want it to be too many. Right now, I have 4, and I feel like that's not a good number. I want it either 3, 6, or 9. What's a good number?
You already said you don't need me to answer it. You just got to accept the answer for yourself that you gave yourself, which is going to make you be more powerful than if I give you a number.
Okay.
Look, Big Mama be talking to y'all, and y'all be second guessing her. I don't second guess her. I know when she's talking to me. So look, listen to your heart. When you feel something, trust what you feel to guide you correctly. And the one thing about it, you are not allowed to lie to yourself for one reason. You don't know you fucking lying. So when you tell yourself you need the right answer, you got to give yourself the right answer, and you got to give yourself the time to let your higher self put the pieces together, and then you'll be going about your day, and then an answer occur to you with the reason.
Okay.
Right? So your power is the palm chakras. That's why they have you hold hands in church.
Okay.
Because the palm chakras, but you're not holding hands properly in the church in order to get the maximum effect of the chakra alignment. Because the fingers are supposed to be interlocked like this and not the hands closed together like this. And the reason you interlock in the fingers is you have meridians at each fingertip. And then on the back of the hand, there's meridians that correspond to that. And then you got a chakra in your palm.
Yeah.
Right? So, like if you put your two hands together and lock them together, like that. When you hold hands with the sisters, hands up like that.
Okay.
Just like that. That's the proper technique. Now, you see where your fingertips is touching the back of your hand?
Yes.
Those are meridian to meridian connections.
Nice.
Okay, now, in the palm of your hands is a chakra, which is an open channel.
Okay. And
So
I can
when
feel it.
Right. So when you got, and then you put your palms together in that position, and now y'all can move energy. If only one of y'all have to know how to move the energy.
That would be me.
Right. And whatever y'all put on y'all intentions, whatever it do, don't do, let it be nothing malicious.
Because I'll get it back threefold, right?
That shit coming so hard and fast. Just wish for some good shit for somebody.
Okay.
Right. Now, intensify that by 10 by putting your feet on the grass in the soil.
I can make the sun come out, Rod. I've been practicing my butt off ever since.
Yeah, all you got to do is fucking smile. You light the whole goddamn place up. You don't need no sun.
Make the sun come out. Like, and another thing, because of all the electrical storms, I've been trying to tell a lot of people, because somebody somewhere is like, oh, alkali water, drink a lot of alkali water. You don't need to be a battery right now. It's all spring water right now until the electrical storms stop. Because if you notice, if you are like vibrating high, it's burning you out. You're tired. You feel like you've ran a mile. It's the alkali water. Stop drinking it. Pause for a second. Spring water.
Or distilled.
Yeah, distilled.
But,
I can't find distilled water. Which one is better?
It's not. It don't work like that. You got different types of water. You got more different types of water than they want to tell you, and they all do something different.
Okay. Now, I was watching something where they were like, oh, water and oils don't mix, but it's a certain water that's like
pH 11.
pH 11. Why I ain't had no pen and paper sitting here with you, and I know better, and I left it. pH 11. And then
I'm saving the lives. You can always come back to it.
And then there's another, how come I can't find anything on the gold that our bodies think is called penoline?
Because they don't want you to know it, because most of it is in cerebral spinal fluid. But they don't call it that when they talk about it. They call it colloidal gold or diatomic gold.
Colloidal gold, diatomic gold. Okay. Next, I know I got like a million questions because I'm always trying to request you to get on live. And I'm like, yo, you don't never, and I got like a million questions for him. All right. Now, Age of Aquarius. Everybody keeps trying to say that it didn't start yet.
It started in 2012 on the Mayan calendar. The Mayan calendar never was changed from the closing of the age. So when you read Edgar Cayce, he tell you that around the year, between the years 2012 to 2019, a great teacher was going to come on the scene and begin to teach the world. Also, you can find the same prophecy of Nostradamus, right? So they know that the closing of the age is coming.
Okay.
Then you had the lady Blind Baba from whatever the fuck her name is from Russia, who gave the same prophecy. The eyes of three oracles having the same prophecy over a 2,000-year period is so far to impossible, and all three of them converge in and under a 200-year period or 500-year period.
That's
Right?
wild.
Right. So now a lot of the skeptics, just Bible thumpers, say that the only reason they all can agree on that prophecy is because it's biblical prophecy in Revelations, right?
Question.
But yeah,
When you're done, another question. Now, King James. King James's first book was a book on demons. I heard like they had.
it was called the Book of Demonology.
Yes. Now, he was called.
Demons are not what they told you they was. You was lied to about what a demon is.
He went back and sold out like the true like Moorish people for a seat at the throne, and that's how he got the name King James, right? Didn't he sell like all of like the secrets and flip it upside down to put it in the Bible?
No, it was already there. Constantine in 325 AD had a group of priests assemble the Bible. All King James did was commission the scholars of the day to render it from Latin because it had became a Septuagint Vulgate Bible. And they translated it from the Latin to the English, right? And then over the years, they translate directly from the Greek in the New Testament to English and from the Hebrew in the Old Testament in Egypt. In the Old Testament as they begin to revise it. So as they revised it, they didn't refer back to the Latin. They referred back to the Hebrew and the Greek.
Okay. So was the Latin one was more true to self?
No, the Latin one was the one that King James had translated. It was originally in Hebrew and Greek text because the Nicene Council was so-called Hebrews and Greeks. Okay. But they was melanated like me and you.
All skin folk and kin folks. Okay, got that. Now, next question. Manly P. Hall. His book on the secret teachings of all times.
Secret teachings of all ages.
Of all, yes. It's that book. I find that book is like a really good reference point to other books. I felt like he kept it like totally 100 in the book. Is there another book that would be comparable to that book?
Madame Blavatsky's work, the Theosophy, Isis Unveiled is one, and the Secret Doctrine is the other. And then you also got Rudolf Steiner's Anthroposophy that goes into a lot, give you a lot of reference works with it. Madame Blavatsky got reference volumes that separate from the book. That's a whole book.
Okay, so I'm gonna get that. That should be my first one as a matriarch to get that book. So I can start.
No, you should study. You should be looking at tribal structures, right? And you should be looking at Okay, so the modern corporate structure, a corporation, all of the board members is the structure to set up the tribe.
Okay.
You assess the skill set of the people involved, and then you know what to make them a minister of.
That's what I'm trying to do right now. That's what I'm like, what craft do you have? What do you bring to the foreground? Now,
a lot of people don't know.
My 3 questions. Now, in your Emerald tablets, I kind of broke it down to there's one part like you have to ask people 3 questions. It's like being a gatekeeper. Who are you? What do you want, and where are you going? And depending on how they answer those questions will determine like their place in the tribe or if they should even be. Like, is there a better way?
Those are questions. Those are questions. You know what you just talked about, demonology?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give you an explanation about something. Let me get a drink.
Okay. Me too.
Okay. Let's say that your father was reading the book on demonology and applied the information to become successful. Right?
Mm-hmm.
It worked because all the demon is a thought form, an egregore that was created a long time ago by priests to teach us how to access higher consciousness. And each one of the demons, you have to put them back on the shelf when you're done with them. If you don't, they come out in the next generation that's not using them. They get angry.
Mm.
You're not using it. And this is why you have to clean up the family tree. You have to be able to ask those 3 questions to the demon in order to put them in check.
But it's happening with people because I asked those 3 questions to people.
The same thing, because
what you mean
the energy, right. So the same energy that goes into creating a personality by opening up demons of the mind, which is opening up apps basically for the human psyche, that was written a long time ago by people that understood the mind on a level that very few of us do it in this era.
Okay.
Right. So those are what you call watcher questions. Right. Women can diffuse a lot of hostile situations with those 3 questions.
They changed my life.
Yeah, you because even in the middle of guy might be coming to rape you, and when you ask him them 3 questions, he gets so fucking confused because you called him on his bullshit before it happened. So his psyche is telling him this is the wrong one to fuck with.
Very true. So in my library that I'm building for the for my yard, Rudolf Steiner's book, I need Madame Blavatsky's book, Ice on Veil, and I need books on tribal structure. And I need to
now I'm gonna tell you a book that's gonna fast track the setup of a tribe, but it's the book that's a manual for setting up a coven.
Okay.
Now the name of the book is called A Magic Circle, and the name of the author is Yaj Nomalos.
Okay. Spell that.
Nomalos and Solomon spelled backwards. That's how you're gonna know you got the right book.
Got it.
Now, remember this for all sisterhoods. The witches books for setting up ceremonies. That's y'all shit. That's why they was murdering witches and setting them on fire, because these were the wise matriarchs that actually was able to use the powers of nature to keep them off the land. So whenever they found that they was teaching, that's when they struck the women. And they always used the woman to infiltrate them. And that's why they were doing rituals in secret.
I'm a generational scribe. Generational scribe. My family, Wausau tribe, the mound builders. So a lot of my aunts, and a lot of my family. I'm in Jersey, and we go to Salem a lot and everything. And when I was in Salem, like something wild happened to me.
I was talking to the sister last night on the live, and she was in New Jersey, and we was talking. I was telling her that's the side of Shakur land over there. Anybody that get out of line when she send them goons at her, don't call me, because I'm not sending no help.
I know.
So she only gonna fuck the ones up that's fucking with the babies. That's her number one thing, because we can't come back to this shit. So the only way to not come back to it is to clean it up now. Our children shouldn't have to fight this fight. This shit should be well cleaned up. My son, 8 years old, by the time he 18, he should be worried about how to spend all this goddamn money we done made.
Very true. No,
that should be the biggest worry he have in his life.
Next question. The FBI just hired all of those black men.
Listen.
By the hundreds and thousands. What's going on?
So they are trying to matriculate them through different forms of the old government to FEMA. FEMA is short for female. The female is going to be the ones that's running FEMA. And they got a group of matriarch sisters from all communities across the land with experience in varying different fields, where this one might be in charge of animal rescue, right? This one might be in charge of disaster relief. This one might be in charge of reorganizing to feed the children.
Okay.
Right. You might have a sister that's a veteran. She's going to be part of the team that's working with the Wounded Warrior Project. Okay. Because they was doing so effectively well with the recovering soldiers that was coming home. They was doing better than the VA. All of the veteran affairs is going to be shifted over to that organization, and they're going to be heavily funded.
Okay.
right? Because they understand, because it's ran by veterans that understand the struggle of the veterans. They understand. This is eventually going to phase out because we ain't going to be doing this war shit.
Thanks.
Right. But for right now, we have warriors that suffer and fought in these wars. And now we're going to be using them boots on the ground to help in the community to reorganize as we redistribute the wealth.
Okay.
So they bring these new recruits into all of these government agencies. All of these agencies are now defunct, been defunct for 3 years. Right. But they still using the template for a training tool to maximize the use of the experience of the aged ones who are leaving.
Okay.
Right. So you take what you need from the old system so you can transition into the new system, and you learn from the best people in the field with the best intentions to do the best job to give the people that American dream they lied to us about before they dropped this goddamn Plymouth Rock shit on our ass.
Now, another question: is Trump with us or against us? Because he stole all the federal sealed documents and not giving them back.
Look, he ain't stole nothing. First of all, who loaded up his truck with the documents? Do you know?
Mm-mm.
The same motherfuckers who told the Department of Justice that the documents was missing. They was also in communication with Trump the whole time. And he was like, yeah, sure, come on, get whatever you need. But they wasn't looking for that. That was a smoke screen, right? Because now they agitating him to the point where all of the fraud shit that they trying to keep undercover, he gonna drop the bomb and expose all that shit.
He's so petty. I can see him doing that shit too. Like, oh, get you on, like, oh, everything with a seal on it. Put it in the car. Come on.
He been telling us, look, in his speeches, ever since January, he been saying the same goddamn thing. They didn't win the election. He keeps saying it. They didn't win the election.
I knew
we caught him in voter fraud.
It was around the Capitol. Oh boy had the black pawn on his body. They captured the flag. He had the Buffalo Soldier horns on. He freaking howled through the hall.
I did a whole I did a report on it as soon as it happened.
Where is it?
On my Facebook page.
I'm like, would you look at this? I'm like,
I did a video on my Ryan Hayes page about a couple of weeks before they took it down. That I was explaining to people occupying Pelosi's desk. And I showed him where he put in the public domain that he was sent by us.
Mm-hmm. Black pawn.
Right? And he told them that he was part of the QAnons. And he told them that he was in special forces in the United States Marines on special assignment. And then he went in there and kicked his feet up and planted the Old Glory, the flag of the land, behind the Admiralty flag to recover the jurisdiction.
Yes.
So that shift us from Admiralty and Maritime jurisdiction and put us back under the law of the land, which is the tribal laws that we had that predate the Constitution. Mm-hmm. But the Constitution has always been in effect ever since we've been here, because part of the chief becoming a chief, he used to have to remember each part of it, and not until it was totally memorized could he attain the office to be a lawgiver in the community, because the Constitution had to be known by heart, because it got to be in your heart.
Okay, with that, what's the significance of Trump pleading the fifth 44 times?
That was a message directly to Malik Angel Bay that he see you and he coming to get you.
I figured that. Nice.
The fifth is the 5-point star, Peace Stone Nation. 44 is Chief Malik Angel Bay angel number.
Nice. I figured that. Now,
so he was letting him know that when I say free Larry Hoover, I mean free motherfucking Chief Malik Angel Bay. Period. I don't just mean because my chief, he ain't the only one of the chiefs. And Mama said ain't no big eyes and no little U's. Big Mama said don't leave no stone unturned. So everywhere I see a chief in crisis, I'm going to fucking say something.
Okay.
And when I say something about one, it applies to all of them, whether they the male chiefs or the female chiefs. And we got more female chiefs than we got male chiefs.
Very true.
That's how we end up having a matriarchal society. I got 26 seconds.
Brittany Garner. What's the significance of her and why are they holding her? Who are they trying to exchange her for? They won't tell us what to exchange for. Like, who are they trying to exchange her for and why? They tricked her into going over there. I think that was a whole setup. And anyway, really? You're going to hold her and she's playing for your team? Like, is that like a smokescreen, a distraction, or is this like a bigger play?
Course of my travels. Earlier today, I did a little short video where I went and showed y'all where all of the different artifacts that I picked up on my travels. Now, as a traveler, you collect souvenirs, and your souvenirs, normally they identify you with some kind of attachment or recognition to the energy related to what it means, right? What it means. And so you go and you find the pieces to the puzzle. We've been broken families for a long time. So when I first passed the Blue Lodge, and yes, Catherine Marie Jackson, I'm aware of the Ethiopian Coptic Bible that goes back, and I have checked it out, and I have reviewed it, and it's all part of the studies and the travels. If I did not encounter the Coptic Bible, the Ethiopian Bible, and various other Bibles, then I wouldn't have been able to have the discernment to read the signs in order to make it to this point. Remember, the enmity was put between the seed of the woman and the serpent, right? So Abraham's family was afflicted in the foreign land. The families were broken up, as it say, when the Christ was crucified, and they cast lots for the garment. The people weren't allowed to roam the free land, so you see the Christ crucifixion, feet nailed. All these things are legendary myths, and so you see us as we trying to see the riddle of life, and you go through the internalizing of the icon or the hero in the whole spirit of that hero in order to see from somebody else's eyes what they're looking at in order to find the key. Now, in the course of this, I have to learn how to read the signs through broken mirrors. It's called the shattered mirror effect. So all of these signs are scattered throughout my life, and I have to put life together in form of family bond. This was the instructions that we had if we want to get out of here. How you doing, Juanita? So we move on to the next thing. There's a couple things we got to touch on today. God heard a cry when you heard the cry when you made a sound, pointed your joint to the sky, let off a round. No man couldn't feel that black man's pain. Okay, so now I'm about to go into my posts from today and kind of like touch on a couple of things. Today, a shyster was trying to get me to send him $700 for a $70,000 payout. Right? He wanted me to send him $700 for a $7,000 payout. That gets my attention because the sevens is my number. What do this mean? So now I got to figure out what it means. So while I'm going through here, getting ready to pull my page up, and show y'all a couple of things. So that's not what I'm looking for. That's not what I'm looking for. So now I got to go through all this, and I got to tie a couple of things in order. Finally, I get to reveal Isis, right? The Queen of Heaven and Earth as God. The Pope being on their seat. Now, there's one thing left. I got to restore the Caliphate. In Islam, I have to restore the Caliphate. That's going to be a task. Because the Quran that they have is not the Quran that was left to them. And when the patriarchs took over the Vatican and they destroyed all of the Hafiz, they killed all the Hafiz and burnt all of the legitimate copies of the Quran they could find except for the one they kept for archive in the Vatican. They replaced it with a book out of Rome and even the legends surrounding that after Muhammad, when they tried to destroy what they called the Ahlul Bayt, the family of the house. Now, what y'all not paying attention to is Muhammad had no wealth until he married Khadijah. She had joined the monastery of the Catholic Church and had gave her wealth to the church, but the church wanted to control Islam, so they gave her wealth back and told her to go marry Muhammad. That's matriarchal. So Khadijah was the Black Madonna that the Pope supplanted. When he pushed her out of the Catholic Church in the Madonna seat, then Mother Khadijah was moved. Right? So, in order for her to be protected, Muhammad commissioned what we know today under the tense of Qadar as the Sharif. They were supposed to be guardians of the righteous. Now, how can I get y'all to understand who Khadijah is? Right? This is the mother of the faithful in Islam, is what she's called, the mother of the faithful. Now, y'all got to pay attention because we have to put the Madonna back in her seat. Now, Isis is referred to as Mary because the term Mary means rebellious woman. So in Islam, what took place was this. When they got Khadijah to marry Muhammad, Muhammad, through the family of the house, her house, swore to guard and protect the family of the house, the holy blood, the queen seat or the high priestess seat of heaven and earth, Mother Khadijah. Now, I have to tie this back. I have to tie this back to Maryam. I got to tie this back to Mariama. This is Mosque Mariama in Chicago. Fruit on deck. So this is Mosque Mariama in Chicago because in Islam, Mary is called Mariama. Now, in a few minutes, I'm going to go to that because Mother Khadijah of the Nation of Islam is Queen Mother Isis. She is to be restored as Caliphate, the mother of the righteous and the mother of the faithful. This is the return of the ancient ones. This is the restoration of the glory seat. Farrakhan, I told you, this is where you see her on her throne. Khadijah is the mother of the faithful. Look it up. All of them gave me the clues. Betsy Ross was her slave name. Who made the American flag? That was just the key. That was just the key. Because the flag story does not add up. It's an incongruency there. So that means that there's something else there. So her name was Betsy Ross as the cloak. That was the disguise to let me know how to find Isis, the queen of heaven and earth. Now we got another problem here. We got another problem. Because if she's over here, who the fuck is that over there? Now, everybody that already said Francis was the imposter. Now I told y'all it was some foul shit going on. Right? Now I showed y'all already. Everybody know what's going on. This is not haphazard. So, in the quest to restore balance back to earth, under the orders of Mott, by the evidence provided by the CASHAPP, Mother Khadijah is the Queen Isis, the mother, the queen of heaven and earth. I am the widow's son. I am crown prince of heaven and earth. Now, I'm going to walk you through some signs. I am the self-raised master, the master of masters. And everything I have shown you has proven this. But there's one thing that you got to understand. Because if you don't know who God is, you're about to find out. The black stone. The black stone, I told you what it was. Now we're finna show you what it is. Now, remember when we went yesterday, we went over the 5% information. And I showed you the Melanica, the Palace of the Rising Sun. We went over the Vesica Pisces. And the Vesica Pisces being the identifier, right? The Vesica Pisces being the identifier. So now, when we go up and we look at the Kaaba, now remember, it's a circle and a square, right? The builders built the box to house the mother, Alat. I'm about to lay it out for y'all now. Because if y'all sitting here thinking God is a man, are you insane? God cannot be a man. The Black Madonna returns. Francis, you gotta go. I'm finna show my people. I got everybody tied together in this. Everybody tied together in this. So let's go. We finna go do. This is the Kaaba. This is the Kaaba of Mecca.